time for Flashback. Tracks from the past. Today with stories from the retro past.
In today's game, we go into an abyss of a hell, built on the best of premises. The soul of the most important philosopher of the 20th century hovers over a bastion of freedom that is just now a battleground of a dead paradise. As we run between crazed citizens that once believed in the dream they were promised, we must face the question of what freedom really means. Who is free, and who must follow orders? Would you kindly listen to today's story about the game Bioshock, released in 2007. Today's first song is Tuna and CS 127, and the song is called Constellation. In 1926, a young woman by the name Elisa C. Rosenbaum moved into the United States. Her memory haunted by the atrocities of the Soviet Union, she became a well-known and influential philosopher. After a rocky start, she reached success under the pen name Ayn Rand. She released the book The Fountainhead and later Atlas Shrugged. Those books set the stage for her own ideology, objectivism. This was later adopted by many who valued the strength of individuality over collectivism. She praised the power of self-fulfillment, egoism, and the power of individualism. She resented altruism and hedonism. The strong business leader, the fearless artist, and the undeterred scientists were her heroes. Helping yourself stood on higher moral ground than sacrificing for others. She saw the United States as a country in a socialist freefall. In the book Atlas Shrugged, we follow Dagny Taggart, whose journey leads to an elusive John Galt. The latter is a person that is more of a legend who has disappeared without a trace. In the last part of the book, he is found again. He has created a town called Galt's Gulch. This town is a paradise of individual freedom, with very few legal and moral restrictions. What if Galt's Gulch was located under the sea near Iceland and was indeed a paradise where the businessman could earn, the scientist could invent, and the artist create? We are going there in Bioshock to a small paradise called Rapture. But, well, music it is, and we are going on with Harlequin and X96 Invitation. You're fighting the cold waves of the Atlantic, frantically swimming to a nearby lighthouse, while the airplane you travel with slowly sinks into the ocean. As you reach land and walk into the lighthouse, you find a bathysphere and travel down to the city of Rapture, located under the sea. Your entry into Rapture is accompanied by a speech by Rapture's creator, Andrew Ryan. His name is of course an anagram of Ayn Rand, so it's pretty much him embodying the core tenements of objectivism. He speaks like John Galt, telling you that Rapture is the home of the greatest minds of the century, and a society built on uncontrolled and unregulated art, science and business. The first view of the underground paradise is beautiful. You see a skyline, if that is the proper word of it, of skyscrapers. As you reach the destination, the dream falls apart. We are going on with Beyond and Waiting. The first seconds of the game is a total catastrophe. When you see the city, the first thing to happen is an attack by something that looks like a disfigured human being with some sort of claws attacking another humanoid. Soon, a message comes over the shortwave radio you picked up. It's Atlas, a man who somehow knows you're here and asks you to help him. He needs you to go to see him and guides you along the way through the terror and the mayhem. You quickly learn that people attacking you are the citizens of a now almost destroyed city. They are horribly disfigured and totally insane. They seem to believe that all is well and this is just another day, while being totally oblivious to where they are and what they have become. Something new. Here is new artist called Candy Cat and Title Old. Rapture was founded in 1946 by industrialist Andrew Ryan. It was hidden from the world and people there were sworn to secrecy. All went well until a sea slug, later named Adam, was found. The scientists found out that it could be used to splice genes in human beings. With it, you could change yourself to get superhuman abilities. Suddenly you got super smart, strong, or could throw lightning bolts. This exploded in popularity. But the unrestricted nature of the scientific development came with a heavy price. Using it was called splicing, and a user hence was a splicer. Doing it too much deformed your face and you eventually lost your mind. But we are sharp and in command. Here is C512W and Viraxor and your new friend. The year is 1960, and you arrive in the tail end of the civil war that has torn Rapture apart. Splicers attack each other to get the precious atom. It's always in short supply, so you have to extract it from the belly of a dead splicer. And then there are the Little Sisters. They are mind-controlled little girls that can generate Adam in their bellies. This is a much sought-after commodity. Each Little Sister is guarded by a Big Daddy, a man trapped in an armored diving suit with a huge drill that they attack you with. It is safe to be near them or their little girl protege. But attack you must, otherwise you will not have enough Adam to use for your own purposes. The Big Daddies can be hard to take down, but once you do, you are presented with a moral dilemma. So what do you do with the little girls? You can free them and get a small dose of Adam, or you could kill them and get a lot of Adam. Saving all, killing some, or killing all will change the ending of the game. Music time, and it's a Revobolt and Paula's percussion. At this time you must confront Andrew Ryan, who is holed up in his apartment. There you can learn the nasty truth of who you are. You know that your name is Jack, but the rest is a total lie. You learn that you were bred outside Rapture with Ryan's DNA, and that was in order to be able to sneak through all the lockdowns that only allow relatives of Mr. Ryan to pass. And another scaring experience is when you learn that you have been brainwashed into obeying orders starting with "Would you kindly?" Andrew Ryan mocks you for being little more than a slave with his infamous "A man chooses and a slave obeys" line. He has given up on his failed dreams and orders you to kill him, and you cannot resist the urge and end him with his own golf club. But we have to end the whole thing. But we have to end this part of the discussion by playing a brand new song. It's Eye Cage and Brighter Days. I don't know about John Galt, but who is Atlas? You know, your friend who has been guiding you throughout the journey through the madness. He was a leader in the civil war against Andrew Ryan. Eventually you find out that Atlas is a fake identity for Frank Fontaine. Yes, Andrew's chief competitor. He was once a common thug, but rose to become a successful businessman in his own right. He is the game's main villain. It's impossible to cover all ground here, but you walk towards your ultimate confrontation with Fontaine. You have to pick together the story by listening to the same kind of audio logs that you had in System Shock 1 and 2. This is because Bioshock's chief creator, Ken Levine, was already a part of the development team of System Shock and its franchise. He spoke with the newspaper Reason magazine and was asked, "Do you view the first Bioshock as a critique of objectivism?" He answered, "No, I don't think it is particularly. I never set out to take down objectivism or libertarians. Just the whole concept of this very interesting worldview. Can you make a better world if you really focus on yourself and improving yourself?" Well, we are improving your listening experience with the next song. It's Sysfins and Mookie Tunes number 6. Eventually you have to go up against Super Spliced Fontaine, and he has to be defeated. If you spare the girls, they come around to help you, draining Fontaine's powers. If you kill them, you are probably better equipped to deal with them. When he goes down, you get 1 out of 3 endings. If you save all girls, you see them grow up, and when you die, they sit by your side, by your deathbed. This is the good ending. If you saved some, but not all, you get the ending where you see the splicers take over a nuclear submarine. God! Rapture as a nuclear superpower. If you kill them all, you get the same ending as the last one, but with harsher narration. And we shouldn't be harsh, we should be nice and play some more music, going on with Blue Orion and Taira. So to sum it up, the game is a very philosophical one. How about the graphics? It was hyped up by the time the game was released, and in my opinion it lives up to the hype. At least mostly. It can look a little bit too glossy for its own good. The music contains lots of nice tunes from the 1930s and 40s. The sound effects are good and creepy, as they should. The game is fun and challenging, and you can build your own strength based on different skills and specializations. It gets 5 out of 5 bathyspheres. And what you have more that's like 5 out of 5? I don't know about that, but we talk about music. It is Just Orb and Sea Angel. we have to leave Bioshock and Rapture and everything else behind. We have a lot of nice music, and it's from 2026, a lot of the tunes. Here is a medley with Beyond, Only Him, and it's his beginner's music, What Happened to My Life and My Life. Go ahead. Alright, do you know what I have? Another song by Candy Cat. It's called Cogwheels, and I believe Candy Cat is a new artist. I haven't heard about her or him, I don't know, before. So here goes. I think it's 2026 and all. It's nice. It's time to say goodbye for today, and leading you into that good night is Either Audio and Lost in Endless Hallways. See you in a week. This is Flashback, Tracks from the Past. I'm DJ Demon, and here goes the outro.